The problems that existed at the time before the Federal Reserve was that the U.S. had no real central bank to manage the money supply or to act as a lender of last resort. We had a series of frequent bank panics, especially during economic downturns, inconsistent currencies, the values fluctuated all over the place. And since thousands of banks issued their own banknotes, it became a very critically bad event whenever one would start to fall, the other would fall, then there was no unifying force to make decisions. So the Panic of 1907 was the final trigger when major banks and the trust companies failed, causing widespread panic and economic collapse. Even J.P. Morgan had to personally organize private bailouts to stabilize the system, showing the need for a permanent public solution. So the creation process is pretty straightforward. The National Monetary Commission was formed, and Congress created this group after the Panic of 1907 to study how other countries manage their money and their currencies. And then there was the Aldrich Plan in 1910. Senator Nelson Aldrich proposed a national reserve system controlled by private banks. However, critics said it gave too much power to Wall Street, which was a fear on many behalf. Then there was compromise and reform in 1912 to 1913 when Woodrow Wilson became president. He wanted a publicly controlled central bank. After debate, Congress merged the ideas together from both sides. This gave way to the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, passed by Congress and signed by President Wilson on 1913, created the Federal Reserve System, consisting of Board of Governors in Washington, D.C., and 12 regional Federal Reserve banks across the country. Member banks that hold stock in the regional Fed were all put together as members. The main goals of the Federal Reserve were to provide a safer, more stable banking system, serve as a lender of last resort in times of crisis, regulate and supervise banks, manage the nation's money supply and interest rates, and basically promote stable economic growth.